started this morning with a performance from LSU. Yeah, and Josh, do you want to say anything? No.
Show
Let the show say it. Okay, great. And Johnny Gray from SIU is going to be responding to the show.
Looking forward to it.
Let's give a big hand.
Say his name. John Cutler, what's his say his name? Michael Brown, say his name. Michael Brown, say his name. Michael Brown, say his name. Michael Brown, what's you say his name? Say his name. Say his name.
Welcome, Kennesaw, Georgia. Welcome to America. Welcome to Baton Rouge Slam!
When I first started, when I heard
Poetry Slam!
I'm thinking it's a place where people come and read from a book with no emotion. Really like Robert Frost the stage.
Two roads diverge, Ed, in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both.
7.5.
I'll take it.
5.
6.1.
Just one. Sorry, I could not. That was crap.
I'll sit down and show me how it's done.
That's what I thought slam was. But you see, when I got there, I saw that competition. You're judging me on my feelings.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember who it was. Da Vinci or some Buddhist monk or some shit, but you have to learn the rules before you can break them.
Slam poetry is all things hyperbolic.
You have this person who does metaphor,
Personification.
allegory, and alliteration.
Written texts are exaggerated.
Punchlines, creativity.
Performances are exaggerated.
Learning that my words didn't have to convey emotion. Cadence could. The pup, 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 pup.
Pauses. The way I slam the poem. Slam provides
Urgency.
If something's on the line,
The poet is making a 3-minute sales pitch.
You perform like something's on the line.
because it's a game.
People love to see a battle.
No one plays this game to lose.
By pleasing the audience, you get the points.
When we pick judges, we tell them,
Look, these poets are trying to make our national team, so make them work for those teams. That's why we sacrifice the poet.
Two roads, Florida and government, diverged in Baton Rouge. And sorry, Robert, but I could not travel both because no matter which road we took on our way here, we almost got into an accident because no one uses their blinkers on the highway and there's so many damn potholes. Oh,
10.
thank you. Hey, I'll take it.
9.2.
Man, I'm good.
Just 2. You know damn well that's not why we almost got in an accident.
See, the sacrificial poet is a staple in all poetry slams. We say sacrificial because it sounds more dramatic.
The sacrificial poet allows the judges an opportunity to practice scoring.
gives a barometer for the performers.
A calibration for audiences.
Wait. Is there a deeper layer? The experience.
I got to be in this space with these people.
But what about me?
It's an immediate validation.
I got to share my truth.
3 minutes to get up on this stage and make a piece of urgent art that will stick with the community after they leave the...
'Cause baby, whether you're high or low, or whether you're high or low, you got to do on the tightrope, on the tightrope.
Desiree, 26, moved to Louisiana from California a decade ago, has been slamming with eclectic truth for 6 years, serving as host and sacrificial poet during week 5 of the fall 2016 season. Desiree's poem, For Kaya, Hallelujah, received all 10s from judges. Allowing me to walk in her words, I interviewed Desiree at Highland Coffee on China Street.
See, the host curates. They really run the night. I used to be like really bantery, but then I realized it's just like having a conversation.
All right, so how are y'all feeling this morning?
Great!
Oh, that's good. I said, how y'all feeling this morning? So how many of y'all have been to a poetry slam before? How many of y'all have performed a slam before?
See, slam poetry was developed in 1987 Chicago by Marx.
Who cares?
So what?
Eclectic Truth was founded by an LSU communication studies student, Ray Sibley, in 1998.
Shut the front door.
I already did.
Well, open it for me. When you hear something you like, we expect you to participate. Would you repeat after me? When you hear something you really like, y'all need more help? Repeat after me. When you hear something you really like, make some noise! So let's go to question of the day.
Question of the day.
Today's question. Question of the day says, what do you remember about summer 2016? Anybody? What do you remember?
Graduated high school.
You graduated high school.
What about Zika?
Zika. Did anybody get it?
David Bowie?
Oh, shit.
Prince, Muhammad Ali, George Michael, Carrie Fisher.
Wow. Now, listen here. What do you remember about summer 2016 in Baton Rouge?
Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train, and I was feeling near as faded as my jeans.
I moved here last July 4th, before America was great. Again, on July 5th, the death of Alton Sterling, 37, at Triple S Food Mart on Foster. Bystander footage showed local law enforcement shooting a restrained Sterling multiple times at close range in a parking lot where he sold CDs.
This is a found poem made from tweets I sent out to some of Baton Rouge left my heart in ruins. July 23rd, dear summer of sorrow, I don't want your grief anymore. Give us back what you stole from us.
Yeah.
July 5th, Baton Rouge police murdered a black man in cold blood who was selling CDs outside of a store. He always sells CDs. Hashtag Alton Sterling. July 17th, I am black in Baton Rouge and I just want to survive the summer. July 10th, the police started all of this. September 3rd, protesting the police is not protesting the military. Not knowing the difference is proof how militarized the police have become. August 7th, today I did not stay woke. August 15th, some truths are inconvenient, but no one ever lies about a nightmare. August 18th, Donald Trump is headed to Baton Rouge tomorrow to add to the overcast. August 18th, a vacation would be so clutch right now. July 24th, this poet meant the world to so many. I wake up today not wanting there to be an absence of her hashtag Kaya. September 9th, it is quite the load to carry grief and anger when all you really want is love and a dope-ass breakfast. August 13th, Baton Rouge spent July bleeding. It is now spending the top of August drowning. What is his 2016 curse?
July 5th, while exploring my new Spanish Town neighborhood near the Capitol, I felt as if I had migrated to a city split, a place reminding me of my Los Angeles childhood and the schism that hovered over the twilight of 1992.
1699 French explorers came down the Mississippi, noticed a cypress tree stripped of its bark, marking the hunting boundary between two tribes covered in blood of bear and fish heads. They called it Les Baton Rouge. Now, divided by a road that's named after a state that's shaped like a gun whose name means flower?
Come on.
That gun road, death road, don't cross the thin blue line road, a Louisiana boot pressed firmly in your back. Is it any wonder our city means red stick? Woo! I am a white woman in a river of drowning black bodies. Crowned with a red stick on burial ground bank, making citizens out of tribes that are hunting each other, divided by a road that offers flowers only as condolences in a bloody city resistant to change. We shine in tragedy, but it's just because we have so much damn practice.
Then, on July 17th, amidst weeks of protests atop a 2-century legacy of unresolved tensions, those tensions magnified at Hammond Air Plaza on Airline Highway, with the killing of 3 officers and wounding of 3 others by a man from Missouri who was born in Baton Rouge.
CNN said Alton shooting sparked an outrage. Well, let that spark turn into a wildfire. Let it serve as competition for this Louisiana heat. Let the smoke draw people from the comfort of their homes. Why do the words Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter offend you. But the idea of a black body coon get a black body bag doesn't. Even when we're at odds, when it's cut on camera, when we're at our local convenience store, always leaving us as less than 3/5 of the person you want us to be. I'm tired of begging my friends to be safe at protests. I'm tired of asking them to overcompensate for their ethnicity to apologize for existing. I'm tired of being terrified that my brother will be next, that my father will be next, that I will be.
Next, August twice brought historic flooding to southeastern Louisiana. 13 deaths were reported. Over 100,000 Red Stick residents applied for emergency flood assistance. 146,000 homes were damaged. Thousands of businesses. The costliest disaster in the U.S. since Hurricane Sandy. Yet, much of the national coverage focused on how presidential candidates inserted the disaster into their campaigns, silencing local narratives.
In 2016, we buried my grandpa. We buried a body of water. In 2016, my grandpa flooded Baton Rouge. An earthquake of bone and jawline. I love that earthquake, loved his folks. My grandfather's heart was at fault. He treated a pack of cigarettes like a local weather report. He was always high in the upper 70s. My grandpa's death was a storm. My grandma is a tropical depression. Still depressing, still surviving, but I guess no one ever taught her that surviving also means evaluate. Yeah. You ever put a tsunami to bed? Watch your grandma tidal wave herself to sleep, to the wake. You ever been told, don't cry over spilled grandpa? I guess I'm afraid of things that can kill you just by looking at you. Yeah. Hey, Dad. Lightning, I'm so ecstatic to see you. You only appear during storms, and I'm still surviving. Evacuating, vote, damn.
Last fall, 8 blocks from my 8th Street house, the weight of the summer was vocalized. At the weekly Eclectic Truth Poetry Slam, here, in downtown's Arts Council of Greater Baton Rouge, over half the poems performed reference the summer's tragedies, here, in the Firehouse Gallery.
This is all scenery to a play. Whenever you see police officers, you see fire trucks. And we've had a few to come in, but I'd love to see a few more police officers, few more mayors, governors, congressmen, congresswomen, congresspeople. Yeah. In the areas we're talking about this subject matter, rather than hearing it on the news where you can't really get the voice out. A lot of people, they kind of feel that. But you gotta leave out of that venue.
Donnie, 36, community activist and teacher, performing poetry since 2003. Both Donnie and Desiree actively mentor and coach Baton Rouge youth poets. Donnie performed Timeline Trauma 3 times during fall 2016. We chatted on the phone while he was grocery shopping.
See, when you're up on stage, talking about current events, things people see on the news, giving it your creative or poetic interpretation.
I think Donald Trump should be president.
Wait, the motherfucker.
Wait, Donnie said, if you start off by saying something completely opposite, that people are going to be like, wait the mother.
See, slam poets are functioning as artistic journalists. When art is working at its best, it's evolving the conversation.
Donnie is our more seasoned poet. We like to call him Slam Pop. He's in the game
I would say that I'm a veteran to the scene.
I won my very first one against that.
I may not be the most dynamic poet you'll see, but I am going to be the most consistent.
After that, I started getting really like beat, so I'm
See, I'm a product of Southern upbringing. Black masculinity who learned that his world was bigger than the world that he grew up in.
Donnie and I went to high school and middle school together.
When you grow up black in the Deep South, your marginalization is so big that you can't fathom anybody having it any more difficult. So, through Poetry Slam, I learned that there was such a thing as, poor or working class white Americans.
Donnie's tweet poem, the more the genius of it grew on me, the more I actually heard it. It's like an obituary for the summer.
See, the way the summer shook out for me was that you had Alton Sterling's situation happen. And then you had the black community and white allies that were like, this is wrong.
This is wrong.
Something needs to happen.
Something needs to happen.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And then, over on Hamingdale Plaza, we had the 3 police officers who were killed.
You had police being killed a week and a half later, and then you had the flood. So you had a literal / metaphorical washing away of all the above.
I never knew the police were that militarized. Riot gear, rubber bullets.
I mean, you had people in communities that were at one point being terrorized by the police, and then they had to rely on those same police to come on in and save them out of their homes. I'm black in Baton Rouge, and I just want to survive the summer.
July 5th.
Today I did not say woke.
Baton Rouge police murdered a black man in cold blood who was selling CDs outside a store. He always sold CDs.
The male ego is prevalent everywhere. # Alton Sterling. The police started all of this. We cannot fear speaking out. What more can they take but our
July 9th.
wanting to fast forward and rewind button for all of this. Yesterday, # Baton Rouge Youth led the largest and most peaceful demonstration yet.
Black women are being terrorized for seeking justice.
July 19th.
They don't love us.
July 24th.
This poet meant the world to so many. Dear summer of sorrow, I don't want your grief anymore. Give us back what you started.
August 11th.
Sir, my humanity is not minimizing yours.
Poverty and classism makes the people disposable.
Sometimes Mother Nature assists with the negligence that's grandfathered in.
No one ever lies about a nightmare.
August 18th.
Donald Trump is headed to Baton Rouge tomorrow to add to the overcast. If you see glass shattered around me, don't be surprised.
August 23rd.
If vacation would be so clutch right now.
September 8th. How does injustice live in 2016?
Because people die and systems don't.
September 9th.
It is quite the load to carry grief and anger.
When all you really want is love.
And a dope-ass breakfast. You know, I would probably be more optimistic had the election gone differently.
Yeah.
Seeing it face to face, it hit home.
You can go out to the street and see that this could have happened to anyone in my community.
I don't know whether I can go to a Walmart or an IHOP and I'm next.
The night Alton was murdered, I was at Eclectic Truth. It was so surreal. It was happening here, right now. Not like Trayvon or Mike Brown.
Yeah, it's like Ferguson is theory now, Baltimore. Those all seem like talking points.
Seeing it on TV and seeing it face to face is different. The community, they really knew Elton, and he was really out here selling CDs. And if you wanted to, you could ask him for advice. He'll tell you stay safe out there. Pull your pants up, you know?
But it's complicated. And when we want to flatten it, we don't do the work that we need to do. Alton Sterling also has a son. He also went to prison for child molestation. But police didn't kill him because of that. See, it's not as simple as we can throw into a tweet. It's way more complicated than we can even put into a 3-minute poem.
When I think of you, Baton Rouge, I think of a mariachi band.
36, mother of 2, gymnastics coach, has slammed for 3 years at Eclectic Truth. I interviewed Melissa in between shifts at a local kids gym.
I grew up in Baton Rouge. Then I moved out to Central, not as far north as Zachary. I've written my whole life, read to my kids their whole lives. When I met my ex-husband, it was kind of weird. I stopped writing a few months into us starting to date. I was like 18. And then a few months after we separated, I started writing again. It was like 12 years. I got into slam because to grow, I needed to get outside of my comfort zone. I was in high school, once in theater. I had 2 lines in a play. I didn't write poems about social justice issues. I didn't know how to approach them. And then when Donnie came up to me after the show, and for him to be like,
That was amazing. That you felt that you were safe enough to lay that vulnerability out like that. And do you know that by doing that, someone's going to go, well, if she can get up there and talk about that, then I can get up here and say what I need to say.
Melissa tackles things from a white perspective. But to hear her do poems like that makes me feel like we're not the only ones in this battle.
this isn't about me. Then I'm preaching. I have to make sure that anything I put on stage, that it wasn't being exploited for a score.
Yeah, because if you're a privileged white male, you can't make an emotional appeal to me as to why you should be privileged at the expense of someone else. It's like saying, oh man, I'm not as privileged as I could be.
It can get really problematic when white people slam with poems about race or even about white privilege.
I remember there was a time where people could go up and say things that we would consider homophobic or transphobic or even xenophobic now, but as we evolve as humans, there's certain things that just does not work anymore.
Definitely. But it's hard though, you know? Because people, they should be writing about this stuff. They should be processing.
I am a white woman in a river.
And I don't want to police your processing, but if you're in an all-white reading and no one there is talking about their whiteness, there's probably an issue going on.
I am a white woman in a river of drowning black bodies. I just wrote that in my notebook one day. I don't know why. And then the flood happened. And I literally wrote about everything that happened before it happened. Smash out sheetrock. Rip up floors. Treat mold. Smash out sheetrock. Rip up floors. Treat mold.
Gut. Homes.
Purge. Contents.
Remove. Rot. Red hands and red stick.
Hunting each other.
Ignore it too long. This water is toxic.
Blame it on the mildew.
Wash again and again. Blame it on bacteria.
300 years of bleach.
Wash again and again. Scrub until hands are raw.
Wash again and again.
Wonder why? Wonder why?
Wonder why the smell won't go away.
Wonder why? Wonder why?
Wonder why flood water can't remove blood.
Wonder why?
We float.
Tethered. Together.
I write a poem, and it's like 2 months later, real shit happens. I need to watch what I write.
You can get it, you can get it, you can get it, you can get it. And I don't what you want. Go away, put it in the song, alright.
Tori, 24, made Baton Rouge's Brave New Voices Youth Slam team in 2011 before slamming at Eclectic Truth in 2013. Storm Poem, Draft 3, was the first performance I witnessed. We hung out at Starbucks on College Avenue, across the street from a Walmart and an IHOP.
I was born in the Scotlandville area. I represent the poverty line. Some of the hoods, McKinley, Middleton. I try to show my life and bring it to the stage. And I'm proud of that. I identify as black because at the end of the day, when I'm on that stage, when I get pulled over, or when I walk out in public, that's what I'm considered.
See, when you're in the South, race and class are so conflated because it's, well, so infrastructurally present. I mean, you don't go to a lot of places where there's anybody but black people or white people. I mean, across Florida Boulevard, and houses drop by like $100,000.
See, within city limits, a majority are African American. But when you talk about the parish of EBR, you're talking about 47% black and 51% white.
Public school is black, private school is white. McKinley High School, where you have to go out and around. It turns a little quarter into a whole 2-mile drive. It was literally set up to be a ghetto between LSU and downtown.
Wiener since was the border.
It's a great example of how the city was literally set up to keep black and white separate.
I come from a long line of people who owned land, who owned empires, and I've been taken from that.
And of course our state is a red state.
Baton Rouge is blue amongst all the red.
See, you have LSU, BRCC, and Southern. So on a national level, our city tends to vote majority Democratic. But on a local level, it's depending on which Baton Rouge you're talking about. See, there's a difference between Beauregard Town, Mid-City, Spanish Town, sometimes people you see outside the bars.
But the flood didn't care though. White flight built out of the infrastructure and it flooded anyway.
And there are people still displaced.
But what was a big divide though were folks who had the resources to flee.
It went from being pro to anti-Black Lives Matter to we're all just trying to survive this flood together. You see, in my house, my aunts were there. My grandparents were there. My dad, he even went out on a boat to his grandparents' neighborhood.
This flood is devastating more people than the world is actually understanding.
And I'm having a hard time believing that these are the neighborhoods that I used to play in, and that there is enough water for there to be a boat in.
Y'all remember Foy? A little problematic, but he's 75 and has dementia. And his wife, Gloria, would always come with him. And she'd always leave these little paper cranes everywhere on the tables. And she told us the only thing he does is write poems and come to eclectic truth. And he forgets most other things in his life, but he always remembers this.
Like, my dad lost everything during the flood. Aunties, uncles, cousins are throwing away years and years and years of stuff. And I'm throwing away like little knickknacks, photo albums, scrapbooks, stuff from 100, even 200 years ago. The human body is 60% water. The other 40% gives us space to seek advice from people still drowning. My boss pissed me off today. He told me
It's 2016. We don't need more poems about racism.
Don't write poems about racism.
he said, write happy poems. My boss told me,
Deep in the gospel.
Schoolworld poem.
here's your squirrel poem, boss. 1, pretty orange squirrel is the new black. 2, mama squirrel, saw baby squirrel, headed up to the big tree in the sky. 3, no more running away from races into asthma attacks. And 4, running for your life can take your breath away. The human body is 60% water. The other 40% gives us space to, in 2016, we buried a body of water.
Lightning flashed through the funeral.
Maybe lightning would strike, stay in the same place for once. I'm afraid of lightning.
Only appears during storms.
I survived terribly during storms. In 4th grade, lightning struck a power line next to me like
a hurricane stares at a wood shed.
My father is lightning. My grandpa is a storm. In 2016, my grandpa flooded Baton Rouge. And I asked, how can I swim? people still drowning. I try to tie a lot of my personal life to the flood, like family issues, like my grandpa dying.
Being yourself is one of the hardest things when you're playing the game. Torian and I had a big talk. I was like, you need to slam when you have a whole bunch of family shit going on and you know you're gonna screw up. I had this very religious woman give my poem on God, like a
4.7.
like, I think I was like, what is the shape of her face? I can hear her going. But then, Zero gets up, gives his atheist poem where he compares atheists to unicorns.
She was feeling it.
And she gave him a good score. It was a pill that she could swallow. Mine made her uncomfortable. Fuck it. You are going to have to get uncomfortable. Be willing to accept that experience and the mask falls away. It's just you and your poem.
Jasmine, 18, from Baton, college student, member of the B&V Youth Slam team the last 2 years. We met at my first Eclectic Truth, and I later chatted with her inside LSU's Middleton Library.
Jasmine, she's fresh. That's how I started out, hungry like that.
Hungry.
I live in a tragic place. Tragic family, tragic community. You see, just because something happened in 2016, that doesn't mean I'm going to stop writing about it. Jasmine's a teen woman and she writes from what she sees. My writing is a lot of how I want to express myself to a younger me, you see. The world's going to keep throwing crappy stuff at us, Jasmine. So we've got to write our way out of it. Otherwise, it's going to eat us up.
Yeah, but sometimes, I wish that people who didn't share our beliefs would hear this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but that's not what the space was designed for. It functions as a support system.
We
I guess,
provide a space where people
some
can come
people-
and share
sometimes
their
the
morning,
bubble
their
in the world
stories,
in which
and somebody can
it's
relate
in
to
a
it.
bubble in.
We try not to focus on the
See,
tragic
about 4 years ago, I
capitalize on
had
it.
wrote
Yeah, we
this
don't
poem
wanna
called
pin our
Confessions of a
trauma.
Poem
We
Homophobe.
want to know what can we do as a
See, it was
community
this
to
poem
prevent
about
that.
being homophobic.
Like when the Pulse
Because
nightclub
my
shooting.
idea of what it was, the
We
black
held a
was
reading specifically for
heterosexual,
that, and I
cisgender
didn't realize how
religious.
many lesbian,
But
queer,
first people to show me
bisexual, and
something
trans
different
people
were
we
my
had,
queer
and
black
how
friends who I met
fearful
through poetry.
they were of something like that.
See,
Yeah, we
they
were
came out
able to
some
make
years
more
after we had
functional
already
change
been
within our
friends, so I
community,
loved
which
them.
in turn affected our
There are
writing,
people at
which in turn affected the
feel free to
space.
be who you want to love who you want to
Really
love.
think about
Feel
it.
how you want to feel.
See,
When the
slam
community changes,
community
slam
changes.
But has the climate changed?
I've
No. What I'm saying is, are we writing a different type of poem?
Well, if you can, well, see, I don't know. I mean, if you consider the leader of the free world someone who is against your identity, you're going to see that stuff play out in the writing.
Now everybody's gonna have a Trump poem? It's gonna be about 80,000 Trump poems.
Billions and billions of Trump.
I mean, if you consider the diehard Trump supporters as the alt-right, then you can consider a slam community as the alt-left. There's a connectivity between the summer and the national climate.
Definitely, but this election reminded me of how much of a bubble we all live in.
It's like we're spitting this poem to the same people.
Now, I'm not saying go to like a Klan rally.
You're damn right.
I know we're in Georgia. Don't do that.
We need to figure out how can we have these conversations with people who don't necessarily agree.
White people are stubborn. You're not going to get anybody to understand by arguing. You need to plant seeds.
If you think all lives matter, then where were you when we protested? When news anchors became fortune tellers and black children saw their futures in Talir,
Come on now.
in Sandra, in Philando, why were you not there? When we're unarmed, when it's caught on camera, why do you tell us to stop fighting? Why do the words Black Lives Matter offend you? Maybe when Black Lives Matter pollutes the air and the smoke will draw people from the comfort of their homes, and Black Lives Matter will settle in their lungs until every breath is Black Lives Matter. Until every breath is Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
And in that dimension, there is no tragedy to wash away. In that dimension, we float. Gravity reversed. We crawl back into our homes, re-inhabit their spaces, blend like colors in a sunset, like fragments, lost souls.
A lot of us have experienced some pretty traumatic stuff over the last couple of months. See, grief went from being local to hyper-local.
Not only are we dealing with nature and man-made conflicts, but something supernatural almost, death.
One of our students tragically passed the week after we brought our poets back from the Brave New Voices competition in Washington, D.C.
When we got back is when we found out Kaya passed. When we found out Kaya passed, and I'm saying win like it's over, but it's like the community constricts. You see, with each tragedy, it gets tighter and tighter. It just seems like there was nothing else that could be taken away from us. She
offered everybody hugs, everybody smiles.
See, she was 18, a recent graduate of McKinley High School, and we knew that without a shadow of a doubt, Kai was going to be a continued member of our slam community because she was about to start school right down the street at Southern. A week before she died, she dedicated her poem at the competition to Alton Sterling. Her poem was about this alternate reality for Black people.
She was someone that they mentored. Desiree had a poem that really touched me.
When she passed, I was on the coast of Australia.
See, a lot of us are right beyond ourselves right now. When we talk about Kaya, there's no resolve. And when we talk about the Sterling case, there's still no resolve.
Because people are still out of a home. You see, the trust that was broken between communities, it can't be rebuilt as easily as a home can.
But see, there has to be a beauty that comes from writing from a place of despair. It can push you towards joy.
That's right. Donnie said it best when he went to represent us in Flagstaff. He put Baton Rouge on the stage.
Yeah, he did.
He put Alton Sterling, Blood Poems. He put Kaya on the stage.
See, it's whether you're talking about natives or transplants, we are by and large a resilient community.
We are people who shake back from hurricanes and floods.
Katrina.
Gustav.
BP oil spill?
I'm afraid of lightning.
See, we are also a joyous people.
There's layers. It makes me think about Shrek.
And that spirit of resiliency resonates with people who move here, who live here.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait a minute. Wait. But is there a deeper layer? The experience.
I got to share this space with these people.
It's an immediate validation.
I got to share my truth.
We got 3 minutes to get up on this stage and make a piece of urgent art that will stick with the community after they leave the... All right.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you in 3 seconds.